Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Suzy Kassem. My friends, believe in yourself. Believe in the fact that if you will spend 10 to 15 minutes each and every day, in due time, you will master the markets. You will become a charting master. And what does that mean? It means that every second you spent will be well rewarded. Don't worry about how long it takes. Put in the amount of time it takes to master charting. It is so critically important. Even if you're like, well, I'm not really a technical analyst. I'm more into just finances and companies that are going to do well. Well, I'll tell you what, plenty of companies out there that are good companies, but the stock gets trashed. You don't want to ever buy at the top, and you don't ever want to sell at the bottom. Think about it. If you can read a chart, you can put that with all your other knowledge. Being able to buy at the right time, sell at the right time is so critically important. And you learn that by practicing with us. We're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. We do not give market advice, but we do have fun following these charts, practice trading, proving to ourselves that we know what we are doing. Let's jump into these charts. We're going to start with the S&P 500 as we always do. We see charts and bonds are up for the day. Bitcoin and gold, I almost said BitGold. Gold and Bitcoin are down. Let's jump into the S&P 500. Now, what do we seem to have setting up? Well, we had 3 down weeks. And of course, we peaked right now last week. We have a green spinning top right now. 3 days into this week, and we're getting close to average. Could we have an interim low here and a turnaround? That may be what's forming. We will pay attention. We've seen several days of continual up movement, sort of expecting a pull back at some point. Maybe it'll just keep blasting up. We look at the latest 2-day candle, and of course, it's sitting right there below that prior weekly trend line heading down. And of course, this candle is the Wednesday candle. It has finished drawing. A new candle will draw at the beginning of the day. We can see where the half day has pushed through and stayed through at the end of the day. Weekly candle itself, again, nice little spinning top there. Gives us some hope that by Friday, we might be looking at going long on the S&P 500 for a practice trade. Now let's move on to the Qs. Can we say ditto there? Pretty much. The Qs pushed through yesterday afternoon through that weekly trend line on the half-day chart, and it's pushing through right now, has finished and has pushed through just barely on the 2-day candle. Look at all that volume, and look at this on the, again, this is the chart we've traded going up and going down. Did really well in the down trade. We did really well in the up trade. And as we look at things now, we might be switching back over. And I keep telling you guys, go do some reading. Read about what the charts look like election years. Remember, you've got a party that's in charge that does not want things to go to hell in a handbasket. And there's a lot that the feds can do. There's a lot that the government, the SEC, there's a lot that the Federal Reserve, there's a lot of people with vested interests in the current regime. This time it happens to be Democrats. Other times it's Republicans. But there's a lot that the people in charge can do and want to do to keep the market from trashing. It doesn't help you if you're running for president, if you're running for the Senate or Congress, and the market's crappy and the current regime gets the blame. So what happens is, well, we had a down move and it looks like it stopped and it might try to go back up. Not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying there's a lot of people that don't want the market to trash. So we'll be watching and seeing if indeed we have a nice interim low with high volume, if we're getting a turnaround here with a green spinning top, if this moves up, keeps sort of going, could pull back on Thursday and shoot back up again on Friday, may just end now and go back to red, but I sort of doubt it. But we're not pulling the trigger right now on a practice trade. We're going to wait till Friday afternoon and see just what is going on. Enough said about stocks. We're going to go take a quick look at bonds. Bonds are up. Now again, this week we're sticking right there like we did that week beginning the 29th of July, 2 weeks ago, where we see where, and isn't this interesting? This is again, sort of your ceiling. You see where it hit the ceiling back on the last week of the year last year, popped up on the week beginning the 29th, went a little through last week, but's come back down. It is up for the day, 0.63%. On the 2-day and the half-day, we're above that weekly trend line. We see where the Tuesday, the Wednesday, and the Thursday candles of last week, half-day candles, came down and bounced off the weekly trend line. So again, bonds are giving it their best to get back up, and we'll continue to watch, wait, and see. Again, don't have a trade on bonds because they really haven't given us one, but we will keep our eye out and see what might develop. Now, we'll go to gold. Gold pulling back, 0.82% on the half-day chart. We topped and are moving down. We can see we're on this weekly chart. We have pushed through that weekly trend line. Now, we could reassess that weekly trend line at some point. We can see where it has been pushing through it a few times. We can see it on the 2-day, where again we've gotten up almost 3 times now to around the same kind of point, and we're not going above yet. Don't have a trade on gold right now. Don't really know what gold's doing, but we're watching and seeing. We might set a new ceiling. We might bounce off of that. I mean, we can see on this 2-day chart, it just won't go above it. So look, we've got 1 point, 2 point, 3 points, 4 points now because this candle's finished drawing. So we may reassess the ceiling on gold as we move through. It is down for the day, 0.82%. So we'll see where that leads us. Bitcoin down. Again, it is lots of downward pressure after that big down week last week. We do have a red spinning top. It'd be nice if that turned into a green spinning top. Gave us some high volume and showed us that things might be turning around, but we're not seeing that. Still lots of downward pressure, even though we can see on the 2-day, again, these are not dojis, but they're spinning tops. Spinning tops, of course, mean indecision. The last 2 of those have been green candles. This latest one's an even smaller green candle on the half-day, down strong in the afternoon, 3.21%. So we'll keep an eye on Bitcoin. Again, see if it's going to, again, speed up with some additional down movement. That is where we are. So appreciate you being with us. Always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. Appreciate all our Patreon support. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.